the chat. As you know, I love talking to a wide range of people from the wider racing and breeding industries. And joining me today from Dream Thoroughbreds and also Girls Go Racing is Shanyn Puddy. G'day, Shanyn. How are you?
Hey, Ben. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. We've known each other for quite some time. I know you're a big supporter of my podcast and everything I do to promote the wider game of racing.
Absolutely. We do. As I was saying, you've made it when you get asked to be interviewed for the chat. So I'm very excited and honoured. Thank you.
No worries at all. First of all, let's go to Girls Go Racing. You've got your launch event coming up at the Emerald this Thursday, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So Girls Go Racing is a bit of a background. I just really wanted like-minded women. I come across a lot of women who say, they go to the races and they're like, I didn't realise it was so much fun. Or, other women who want to meet a like-minded group of women. It's all about also supporting women who work in the industry, whether that's stable hands, milliners, stylists, jockeys, trainers, anyone working in the industry. I just think having a really wide range of women and being super supportive and inclusive is something that we really needed. We're having our first launch, which was sold out with a week to go at the Emerald on Thursday. So we have 80 ladies coming to that, which I'm really excited about and have been frantically organising that over the last couple of weeks.
I also saw you've got an impressive list of guest speakers that are going to be there on Thursday as well.
Absolutely. I'm so grateful. Kate Watts from racing.com is going to be hosting it. We have an amazing panel: Grace Ramage, Lisa Coffey, Amy Johnson, Lucy Yeomans, and we have a Group 1 winning owner as well. So we also have Britt Hussey from Inglis talking about some bloodstock. So a really wide range of influential, super intelligent, amazing women. So I'm sure that the guests will get a lot out of that.
I love that you use the word inclusivity. It's very important because sometimes I think some girls I've spoken to anyway, I won't mention the name of the other club, they feel like sometimes they're not welcome in some way.
Yeah, look, we really wanted it to be, the great part about Girls Go Racing is 60% of the ladies that are actually have bought a ticket to come are actually people that I don't know, which is amazing. So obviously there's a lot of people that will know each other. There's a lot of people there that won't necessarily, but it is about creating a great group of women getting together that anybody that comes feels like they're part of the group, and that we can support each other and network, raise awareness for other people's businesses and help them in any way that we can. But it's super important that everyone feels comfortable, welcomed, and really supported.
One last one before we move on Girls Go Racing. I believe you're going to have a second one. It's going to be at a very special location overlooking Flemington Racecourse.
Absolutely. We've been blessed. So Pace Developments are doing the new development at Flemington Racecourse. We have a function on not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So anyone that would like to come is obviously welcome. We'll get a sneak preview of the Darley development that's going to be going on there, and it's Girls Go Racing in conjunction with the Darley project. So men are also welcome to come to that. There will be guest speakers, panels, drinks, food, and an opportunity to have a bit of a look before it goes on sale to the public, and some savings also that anybody that is interested in buying an apartment there's some special savings for Girls Go Racing members.
You and your partner, David, as a party, you've got Dream Thoroughbreds, successful syndicators. Tell me a bit about that.
So we started Dream Thoroughbreds approximately 12 years ago. We were previously with other syndicators, and we just felt that there was a need maybe to do something a little bit different. All syndicators are great. I'm a big supporter of syndication. We have a lot of couples in our syndicates, and we also do a lot of non-race day events. So one thing you'll know about us is when we go to the races, if we've got a horse running, we all go together. Whether you own one horse with Dream or 10, we like everyone to feel as if they're part of Dream. So every horse that runs, we really encourage everyone to get along. So we've got 36 horses at the moment. 20 of those are unraced, which is super exciting because it's always exciting when you've got a baby and the waiting to come through. And funnily enough, we've just bought our first international horse from Germany. The deal was actually done yesterday. Sorry, Ben. The deal was actually done yesterday. So we've bought a horse that's going to be trained by Kieran Maher and David Eustace. It's over at the moment at Newmarket, and that's going to be an opportunity for someone to get involved in a potential Melbourne Cup runner at a really affordable price. So we're super excited about that. we haven't had a runner we haven't really had a distance horse under the Dream banner. Yeah. So it's super exciting. And you hear it here first on the chat.
Thank you very much for that exclusive once again. And you've got so you've got your horses spread around a bit. You've got some with Anthony and Sam Friedman. You've got some with Kieran Maher, and I believe you've got some with Tony Golan in Queensland and Lee Friedman too.
Yep. So we have we use in Melbourne Ash and Amy Yagi, Anthony and Sam, and Kieran and David Eustace. And then in Sydney, we have Richard and Will Friedman. Mm-hmm. And continuing on the Friedman theme, we've got Lee Friedman in Queensland and obviously Tony Golan and Will Clarkin in Adelaide. So we are spread out throughout the states. The great thing with the Friedmans is we can move horses, up through the stables. If it's too wet in Queensland, they can run down here. Mm-hmm. And the same thing with Kieran's and David's stable. We can move them interstate depending on where the best races are. So we've had long-term relationships with all of those trainers. Friedman's we've been since day one. Mm-hmm. So we're really passionate about our loyalty to our trainers, and we have really great relationships with them.
And you've had a lot of fun so far with Fluorescent Star. I've met a lot of girls in that horse, and they're all a great bunch of people.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've always had a girls' own syndicate. We had our first one was Flirtatious, then we had Shoe Fetish and Fluorescent Star, and she's been an absolute little gun for us. So she's won at Flemington, she's placed at Moonee Valley, placed at Caulfield, placed again at Flemington. Yeah. She's a little pocket rocket, and we absolutely adore her. Ash and Amy have done such a great job with her. She's a bit of a quirky horse in the stable, so they really know how to look after her, what she needs, what she loves. And she's running in a stakes race on Saturday at Flemington. So if she was to get some black type, the girls would be very excited, and you'll see us all in the pink at Flemington, I'm sure, screaming on Saturday.
I'm sure it'll definitely, all that pink will definitely turn heads in the champagne bar like it always does.
We always try our hardest. You always know where we are because we're always, we have the Dream Scream going on, and we're always quite enthusiastic.
And I believe a former star of yours in Charles in Charge is at the farm with your parents.
Yeah, absolutely. Charles in Charge is actually Mr. Sneaky's at my parents' farm. We retired him. He ran second in a Group 1. My parents have got 80 acres at stalls, so we're lucky that they take a lot of our retired horses, make sure they get loved and looked after forever. And Charles in Charge, who won our 2-year-old Magic Millions race in Adelaide, he's at Swettenham Stud as a paddock parent. So he's been there since he retired with injury. And he's alongside Immortal, who is standing at stud at Swettenham. And we will see his babies come through at the sales this year. Actually, I think one of them, the first one's going up at the English sale shortly. So seeing his babies come through is really exciting. And we're grateful to Swettenham, who have taken these horses and look after them, and also to my parents.
Where does your love and interest in racing come from?
So my stepfather was a picnic trainer. So growing up, we do Balnarring, Woolamai, those sort of country meets. He just had a few horses. He did it as a bit of a hobby. And so from a young age, I just always was remember just always being at the racetrack. Initially I loved the social part of racing. I loved the horse more than anything. So I just always remember a time where racing was just always around. I remember my parents always had the races on in the background, and, the transistor with always having the racing on, the noise. So I've just always been a massive racing fan, and meeting Dave 16 years ago now, he obviously was always into racing as well. So when we set up Dream Thoroughbreds, it was something that we could do together. We both loved it, both sort of come at it from different angles. We've just had an amazing time. We've been very fortunate to meet a lot of amazing people, and hopefully we can continue to keep doing that.
Then away from all your racing stuff you do, you also have your other business called Destination Finance. Tell me about that.
So Destination Finance is my real business, I call it. So I've been a finance broker for about 25 years, and I always worked in big corporate sort of companies, and I set up my own business around about 3 years ago. And primarily I do asset finance. So I look after Jayco caravans, all the dealers in Australia, and I do a lot of horse floats for trainers, cars and that sort of thing. So that's my serious job, serious business. And obviously we have, being able to enjoy the social part with the racing sort of helps balance all of that out. But yeah, I love finance. I've been doing it for a long, long time, so I really enjoy it.
Finance almost does comes colliding with racing. Like Michael Sardi, for example, who's on the committee at Flemington. I was talking to him on Saturday. He's been involved with JB Weir and NAB in his whole corporate career. There's so many banking people that are owners or on club committees or in some kind of administration in racing.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've met a lot of contacts, especially a lot of women that I actually met through racing that are in finance, and I've met them in finance that are into racing. So the two worlds do collide. It's interesting. A lot of corporate people are really into horse racing. I think the good thing with Dream and even with Girls Go Racing is we have a really wide range. We have a lot of corporate individuals, and we have also mums and dads that just love going to the races. So yeah, it is a wide range, but there certainly is a lot of corporate people that are involved in racing.
You feel racing at the moment is doing enough to attract younger people to the sport? It's something you and I have spoken about a couple of times, and you've been quite vocal publicly about it too.
Yeah, look, I think the race clubs are doing a good job in terms of attracting the young people. My only concern is I also am quite passionate about making sure that the people that have been around the race clubs for years and years and years are also, keeping involved. I often hear, the older generation or, my age, they're feeling a little bit disengaged now because the push is so much for young people to come to the racing. So I think there has to be definitely a balance. We need to make sure that the people that have supported the industry for such a long time are also feel nurtured and involved, as well as, including the young people who are the next generation. My cousin, Justin Darcy, he's media marketing manager for TBV. He's been going to the races since I can ever remember, 6, 7 years old in a suit and off he'd go. There's a lot of groups around next generation of racing, and they're trying to promote young people into the ownership area. And I think that's super, super important, as is getting women involved. So I think that all of those things, there's a fine line between overdoing it, but we need to make sure that the generation that have supported in racing are also looked after.
Also have a similar thing in Sydney too with young professionals in racing. YPR has been doing it for quite a while as well.
Yeah, absolutely. When YPR first set up, we were actually one of their major sponsors. So we did a lot of work with YPR in the early days when Cass was there, and that's another really important, network of people that are encouraging people to get in. And it's not just about race ownership; it's club membership. It's about the social engagement, obviously wagering turnover and that sort of thing. So, yeah, there is a fine line, but there's some amazing groups doing some really good stuff.
Away from work and from racing, what does Shanyn Puddy like to do in her spare time?
I don't really have a lot of spare time, actually, and I most of the time I am at the races. With 20 horses running around currently, we're sort of here, there, and everywhere with racing. I mean, it's an absolute joy for me, so it never feels like work. I'd probably prefer to be at a racetrack than anywhere else, to be honest. We like travelling, and luckily enough, we can do that with racing. If we've got a horse running in Queensland, we'll jump on a plane and go up and watch the race. And I'm super lucky that my partner is as passionate about it as I am. So it's something that we can do together. So to be honest, we don't do a great deal outside of racing, but I'm blessed to be able to do that.
Where do you see Girls Go Racing going? What could it morph into?
Wow, that's something that I've thought about a lot. I was overwhelmed with the support at the first function, and the sky's the limit. I've had so many people offering to speak on panels, so many different people reach out about, I had someone from entertainment in the newspapers actually reach out to see whether they could cover the event. The sky is absolutely the limit. I mean, we could potentially have our own racehorses, our own silks, sponsor races. The sky is absolutely the limit. And I've realised that setting this up and having this function, the fact that it was sold out so quickly means an absolute need for this. People are screaming out for it, and people are really wanting it. So it's just verified, I think, for me, that there is a need to have this sort of group. But I absolutely am so excited, because I just think the sky is the limit. And then I've had some amazing friends that have helped me set this up. And without their support, we wouldn't be able to do it. But I absolutely am so excited, because I think the sky's the limit.
Shanyn Puddy, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much, Ben. Take care, and I'll see you at the track on Saturday.
You will. Thank you.